Hello everyone, welcome back to a new episode of Prismata. I thought before we started today I would show you guys, I did in fact sit through a 40 turn game against Pacifist Bot, and just in case it wasn't obvious like how I would end up losing, I thought I'd just skip through this. As you can see, I'm passing for many turns. And he floats a bunch of gold because I expected him to like at least build Aegises or energy matrices or something, but he doesn't. Or polywalls. And then eventually, at some point in the game, he gets the idea to go for ebb turbines. I don't know why he doesn't do it earlier. And also, I didn't realize there are 10 of them in the supply. It seems like the kind of unit you'd only expect to see 4 of, because like, when do you really need that many? But okay, fine. Anyway, so we skip ahead, and I actually accidentally passed one turn too many. And then I had over 40 green, so I spent it all on 10 cluster bolts. And of course he gets to attack with his first. Oh, let's... Yeah, okay. I guess I was hoping to show you guys the turn before... Back up. There we go. So he attacks... He's not allowed to attack with the cluster bolts I have that are about to go off. Oh, it's in play... No, pot... Can I... There's me building all these. Okay. Yeah, I see. I hit space because I was thinking of passing the turn or something, but in replay mode, space is like play. So he's now got 10 attack that he can't help but attack with. Like even though he's Pacifist Bot, there's no way in the game's mechanics to say no thanks, I don't want it. And he can't kill these Gauss charges because they're under construction. He has to. You can't attack under construction units unless you've killed everything else your opponent has first. So he has to kill all these permanent units that I have. And then he has some damage left over, which he has to spend on Gauss charges. And now I'm like threatening 38 damage. But I have to pass my turn before I build any. I could survive. I could like build an engineer. But that's not the point, right? The point is to lose. So there we go. I'm all out of stuff. And as a result, wait a minute. Didn't I equipped this? Oh, I see. It was showing the badge that I had during the game. Anyway, I put this badge on. Why not? It's cute. So, let's go get started on a casual match now that we're done reviewing how that all works. And I'll probably take this badge off before too long, but I'm not a huge fan of badges. I do like having a Kickstarter supporter badge showing. Most of them are for things that don't matter. If there are any for like any interesting achievements, like I don't know. Once I feel like I'm a good player again, sure, maybe I'll put the Prismata Master badge on. But most of these, like, watch a replay. Yeah, I don't really need an achievement to tell everyone I've done that. All right, who do we have? A lot of ways to lose. Sounds like another drone. Not drone, bot. What are we doing? Shadowfang Perforator and Corpus makes red seem pretty good. I don't know that Zatron can like threaten that too much. And I don't think I want to get green either for Reservoir. So I'm just gonna build 2 drones, then drone Animus, and then we'll see depending on what he does. Yeah, this is definitely a bot. Oh, what? What? The second turn Animus is like good, but I don't understand the Engineer. That's very odd. What's that all about? Here come Tarsiers. So I could do this. But what if I say, look, I'm going Shadowfangs, just deal with it. Right? And get a Perforator to start defending. I'd really like to get a Corpus, but I can't do that while building the second Animus. So we could just do this and start building like Shadowfang Perforator every turn and see if we can breach before he does. I don't have enough drones to build Shadowfang Perforator every turn, right? That's $11 and I only have 10 drones. So if I do that, so obviously I could cut the Perforator and build a drone, right? But And then I could build like Shadowfang Perforator every turn until the cows come home. But then I won't actually be defending against his Tarsiers right away. Which is something I would like to do. Having one absorb is pretty good, and I don't want to build a Rhino next turn. I mean, I could build... That's an idea. I could do this, and then build Shadowfang Rhino, which will have as much impact as Shadowfang Perforator this turn. It'll be much the same. But I'll have one more drone to go with it. Right? Yeah, that seems better. I'll build Shadowfang Rhino next turn with the extra $2 that I have, and then every turn after I can still build Shadowfang Perforator. Or even Shadowfang Rhino, right? No, just Shadowfang Perforator. I only have 11 drones, even though I'll have 13 gold next turn. Alright, let's try that. And he's just building Tarsiers, which doesn't seem great to me. Now let's put Shadowfangs on top. Okay. Now the question is, can I survive the earlier pressure he got with the Tarsiers for long enough that I can stack up? Looks like no. This whole Shadowfang Perforator every turn is clearly not working. I'm already getting breached if I try to do that. Instead, I have to, like, do this? Whew. Okay. Well, it looks like this second Animus was a bit too soon. Unable to commit to the Shadowfangs in time. And he's getting efficient Perforators for defense. I think we've lost already, actually. He got attacked before we did, and the fact that ours is more efficient doesn't matter because we spent so much money on the extra Animus that all the efficiency is wasted. Our units are less efficient and less timely than his were in this way, so I'm just like absolutely dead. Yeah, alright, you got me. Okay, well now I've learned another build that doesn't work. Yeah, I mean, we can review that one, but I think the lesson is pretty clear. It's just like you can't build a turn 2 Animus and then a turn 3 Animus into Shadowfangs against anything. That just... Alright, noted. Turn 2 Animus is fine, and often good. I think in that set it was good. But I just was too greedy trying to use the Shadowfangs when I don't have the economy to support it. Nor the defense to survive with it. Rhymop? I don't know if this is a person or not. Okay, we have some pretty high defense units. Kind of looks like you want to get energy into Sinestra, maybe? So kind of a high econ E-grid with Sinestra if you can get it for your attackers. And this is a real human, right? They didn't skip the overview phase. They have variation in their timings, unlike a bot. Is he gonna try and counter with Grimbotch? He is. Interesting. Okay. Well, I can... I'm worried about that. I don't... You know what? I decided that this was a blue set. If he wants to kill 2 engineers by building Grimbotches, fine. That's not very efficient for him. I think Energy Matrix is going to be enough to survive this onslaught. I could back out of my high econ and like build a Blast Forge, but I think that's just giving him the advantage. He analyzed the set and concluded that Rush is good. I analyzed it and concluded that Econ is good. If I do like try to Econ into Rush, I don't actually have enough to... He only built 1. Interesting. I think if you're going to do this, shouldn't you build 2? I don't know. But if he's only going to kill 1 of my engineers as a punish for this, that's great. I was willing to let him kill 2. Well, I have no choice, right? He gets to decide. But, I think 2 Blast Forges into Energy Matrix and Drakes is, like, pretty good. Red is going to be under tremendous pressure to defend against the threat of Drakes. Because they always attack for 2, and you can threaten to attack for an additional 2. And for Red... being breached even once is a disaster, so they have to defend as though you were attacking with the Drakes. So it's sort of like when you build a Drake, you attack for 2 every turn, but also you, in a way, destroy 2 of their engineers just by threatening to destroy 2 engineers, even though you don't actually do it. They have to defend as though those 2 engineers are dead. So I want to get a conduit to start getting Sinestras, I think. Yeah, next turn I'll build Animus and a couple drones, and a couple... I also want to get my energy matrix, though. The whole point of this is that it depends on the energy matrix. So maybe I should do this, get energy matrix next turn. That's 8. I have 10 left. I could build Animus drone. Animus conduit, yeah, because we do want to start getting Sinestras going. And I assume he looks like he's threatening to do like arms race, which is fine with me, I think. I should win the long game if he gives... And arms race is kind of like a very efficient attacker, but it gives your opponent more time. And I have enough tech and enough drones that I think with time, I should be great, right? And I'm building an energy matrix next turn anyway, so this extra attack doesn't really threaten me. And his Grimbotch is doing nothing. Like, he built a Grimbotch, spent 4 and a red, and stifled his economy. And what's it done? It's killed 1 engineer. Is it going to do more before it dies? Maybe, but not a lot more. It might kill another engineer, actually. So, let's see. If I build Drake next turn, I'll just have $6 left. So maybe this whole Sinestra idea is a bit overboard. Maybe I'm not really going to be able to get Sinestras going, and I should cut the conduit. But arms race is good too, I think. I can't get Drake and arms race is the problem. I could if I cut the energy matrix, but then I need the energy matrix eventually, right? And now is the best time. So I could get Drake and 2 perforators? Those are just sort of efficient defenders and they threaten to attack. This allows me to get the conduit out. And the perforators don't really threaten to attack him, but they act as defenders for me, which is fine. I think I'll go with this and try to get the Sinestras going. Yeah, fine, arms race, go ahead. Just means your Grimbotch is doing even less. I don't think I'm building an Odin. So right now, actually, the Drake... it's not going to actually do anything, because his Grimbotch... Hang on, maybe I shouldn't build the Drake then. His Grimbotch is going to be on defense. He has 4 defense for free next turn, so Drake doesn't really pressure anything. So if I can build slower attack, I would prefer to do that. But I want the Drakes around for next turn anyway. Say I do this. I have $18. I'd like to build Sinestra Arms Race, which I can't. So maybe I'll just do this. Now I can Sinestra Arms Race, which seems like a big problem for him. I feel pretty dumb that I built that Animus that I'm not using, but maybe it'll be okay. Oh, I can't build a friggin' Sinestra next turn. I don't have enough green. Okay. Yeah, probably should. These should have probably been perfs. Yeah, so his Grimbotch... Ah, well, yeah, if I'd built the perfs, it would have made him hold back the Grimbotch, I think. Yeah. So here's a thought, though. I could click the Drake next turn. He's not holding back his Grimbotch, which means that the Drake's attack is not wasted. It kills 2 engineers at a time when he's under a lot of pressure to defend. I think this is to punish him. He's trading his Grimbotch killing 1 engineer for my Drake having the option to kill some of his stuff. Which I don't think is a good idea for him. We'll just do this. right? And then next turn we can Sinestra Arms Race or something if he doesn't attack for too much. I'd like to replace the Blast Forge, but I think that this is probably better. Cut ourselves off from Drakes for a while in exchange for getting the Tarsiers out. And it says here I can attack for 8. Really, I can only attack for 6. But that's fine. He knows that. He can tell he only needs to defend for 6. But 6 is quite awkward for him, right? He lost his Engineers. He has no granular defense. I think attacking with that Grimbotch was a big mistake. A bigger mistake than my Animus into drones? Maybe, maybe not. And of course, I'm not thrilled to actually attack for 6, because I have to click my Drake, but it's like trading my Blast Forge for his wall. Like, that's clearly great, right? Yeah, we're clicking this. And we're building a Sinestra. And we'll replace the Blast Forge and get a drone. How about that? Oh, it's not even trading for his wall. He was already losing the wall. Now he's losing a Steel Splitter as well. Yeah. We're running out of Engineers from his generous arms races, but I think that's okay. And he gets no Absorb this turn, which is terrible for him. Meanwhile, we continue to threaten 11 damage. He finally gets the Energy Matrix, but we're doing more damage than he is. We have more economy. He has a little bit more tech. No, don't hold those drones back. I can't actually attack for 13. I'm only attacking for 11. He's just giving up 2 money for no reason at all. So we'll just build Energy Matrix. Oh, I can't anymore, haha. How about Wall Sinestra then? I can't build more Sinestras. I'm really bad at this game. All right, so 9. How does he defend 9? 4 here. 3 here is 7. NG Drone? Or 6, 10. So you lose 2 Steel Splitters. Or he could lose Steel Splitter, Drone, NG. Both of those are fine with me. I don't think it's a good idea to click Blast Forge again. I kind of want to threaten more damage next turn. Another Blast Forge allows me to do that, I guess. Let's get out the Perforator and another Conduit. Now I can threaten the Sinestra and Energy Matrix next turn, which is pretty strong. Maybe this Tarsier should be another Perforator, actually. I think I'm going to need a lot of defense next turn, and the Perforator fits that role. And we're building another Sinestra next turn, so we don't really need the Tarsier this turn to threaten more damage. The additional Blast Forge also acts as more pressure, because it allows me to click one more Drake than I otherwise would be. So I guess he was sort of right to hold back 1 drone, but holding back 2 drones was an error. Because there's no way I can click all the Drakes to force him to defend with all the drones. And on this attack, I think, he should have sacked NG Drone instead of Steel Splitter. But if he holds back the drones and then doesn't use them in the one situation where it was right to use them, I think he's made a big mistake. Anyway, I think we got him this game. His rush never really panned out. He didn't commit to it. And now he's trying to mirror what I was doing, but with a lot less resources. Which just doesn't seem right. Like, how does he defend this? I actually am threatening all of the 15 this turn. If I click all the Drakes and attack with the Perforators, which is not what I want to do, but if he leaves a chance for me to breach, I'll take it. And if he wants to not leave me a chance to breach, he has to do some pretty drastic stuff, like a couple force fields or something. And even then a bit more. Like hold the drone. I think he's gonna click a drone now and see how that goes for him. Yeah, there we go. So I think I will take this opportunity. Right, it's not a breach anymore. If it were a breach, I would take it. I would do this, right? But that doesn't breach, so fine. I'm just gonna do what I planned to, build Energy Matrix Sinestra. And see how much I can exploit him by attacking for some weird amount. So we'll click 1 Perforator. That's basically free. That's 10. So he's just going to lose NG Energy Matrix. If I do this, 12, he's got 9 here, Force Field NG. So the Drake kills a Force Field, basically. I don't know, that's not great value. I'll just build... Should I build an Engineer? What am I going to do with 23 next turn? I can't build another Sinestra, but I could build like an Arms Race or something. Probably not a good idea. Maybe Energy Matrix is 8, leaves me 15. 2 Tarsiers and drones? I'll probably want NGs, but I don't have to commit to that. I could build NG now so that I don't need them next turn. Actually, I might be a bit low on granularity next turn. I think I will build the NG now, because the only thing I see myself doing with the next turn is building the NG anyway. Whoa, what? No, 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 no. That's the wrong way to defend. You just press Q, it'll defend correctly. Yeah, I mean, this is the same as what Q would have given you, but sure. And this is what I mean about Drake. He's having to defend as though these 2 force fields didn't exist. Because anytime I want, I could click my Drakes and just kill him. And he needs to prevent a breach at all costs. Which is sort of tough for him. You know, actually, I could have considered not building this NG, and then next turn, instead of an Energy Matrix, build 2 walls, which has slightly better granularity. But I guess I'm okay for... Actually, no, hold on. Undo all that. We're going to do this. I don't mind losing a Perforator because I'm going to be spending my red on a Sinestra, so I don't want to use attack with both of them. I can't build a friggin' Sinestra. How bad can I get at this game? All right. Okay, so... Oh, hang on. If he's going to let me do this, then I absolutely will keep the Perforators and do this. And I can just build a wall to defend, and like drone NG, Steel Splitter. I can build some pretty good stuff next turn. Oh, hang on. Both these drone NGs should be Blast Forges, so I can continue to threaten as much damage next turn. And like, how's he gonna... Yeah. Okay, cool. So that was a fun game, with, I think, a lot of instructive points. So the first is the question of, like, was this Engineer a good idea? Was the Animus a good idea? Let's actually go back and analyze the set in a little bit more detail. First of all, like, is this a high econ set? Usually with Energy Matrix, the answer is yes. Unless there is some extremely rushy stuff out there, being able to defend and absorb for 4 every turn is, like, very good. It basically neutralizes... So, I think I've talked about this before. You can imagine just a wall as gain 3 health. Well, imagine your first wall, okay, as gain 3 health and destroy 2 of your opponent's attackers. But you don't get absorbed forever, right? Since you're going to be absorbing that 2 damage every turn, it's as if you just destroyed the attackers instantly when you built it, but then don't get absorbed later. Right? That's a way you can think of wall. It's not the only way, but sometimes it's useful. And so that's why, like, blue is such a big defender, is you can neutralize some of your opponent's rushy attack units. Now, Energy Matrix is even bigger, right? Gain 5 health, destroy 4 attackers. That's why it is so good against rushes, is like if your opponent invests all of their early economy into pumping out attackers, you can just say, no thanks, I'd like those to be gone. And at that point, you each have a fairly small number of effective attackers. You actually still have 0 because you haven't built any. and your opponent has maybe 1 or 2 that they managed to get out in excess of what the Matrix is blocking, but not a lot. And you have way more drones than they do, so you can build more attackers more effectively than they can. And maybe they eventually neutralize one of your attackers with a Rhino or something. But for pure red, like, it's very hard to get a red rush to be effective against an energy matrix, because you start with such a disadvantage in terms of absorb. They're absorbing 3 more attack than the red player is. So when he did, well, I'm player 1, right? Yeah. So at this point, no one's made any decisions, and here I declare I'm going for high economy by building a 3rd engineer. He could choose to mirror, but for whatever reason, he thinks this is a red rush set. And, like, I can't argue too strongly with him. There's Grimbotch, there's Perforator. Those are units you could use to red rush. I think Energy Matrix is better. But okay, that's not what he thinks. That's how these, like, sets are decided, is, like, if you and your opponent read the set differently, you try different strategies, and one of you proves that you're right and the other one doesn't. So now I have a choice. I can say, gosh, I thought high econ was good, but if I'm getting rushed, maybe I can't afford that high econ. So I tried, I considered something like this. But I think that this is awful. This makes the 3rd engineer very, very bad, because I'm actually less economy than if I'd just gone like drone, blast forge. So this is like basically allowing his rush to win. If I thought high econ was good, I might as well go for it and commit by building a bunch of drones. He's going to get the chance to kill some engineers, and so here I think was maybe his first mistake. Well, aside from building the Animus, which I think is a mistake, but, if you think that red is the way to go, then fine, go for it. And it seems to me that he ought to cut a drone and build another Grimbotch here, if that's what he's doing. Or maybe even, instead of Grimbotches, build Tarsiers to get the attack to last longer. Because here's the thing. If I'm going big blue, and I have Energy Matrix available, he's going to need his attacks to last for a long time, isn't he? Maybe not. Maybe the only way he's winning against big blue is with a huge amount of pressure early. Like, so he cuts this drone, let's say, and builds another Grimbotch. This is what I was expecting him to do. And I have no choice but to let him kill 2 engineers. So he's getting some value out of this early rush. And what does he do next? He could build more Grimbotches. Since he's expecting me to build a wall next turn, these 2 Grimbotches are actually going to, like, kill engineers. They make it hard for me to defend, actually. And, like, I don't know, probably another drone is fine. Maybe not. Maybe, yeah, of course it's drone. What else are you going to do? You're not going to build an engineer because I'm not attacking. The only way drone is worse than engineer is if you hold it back. And you might choose to build nothing. Maybe that's better. Maybe he needs to save the $3 for something, although I don't see what. But building engineer is just worse than drone. So let's say he builds drone. I have to build a wall here and actually hold back a drone. So maybe if he builds 2 Grimbotches, maybe I don't do this. Right? If he builds 2 Grimbotches, I think I have to do this, in fact. Because otherwise I can't really defend the pressure of 4 Grimbotches. I have to calculate, well, he's going to 2 kill engineers now, and then he'll kill 2 more when I build the wall if he continues with his assault. So I'm going to need the engineers available to defend. And I can build another blast forge here and like 2 Engies. Am I going to need 2? Next turn I'm building... Yeah, I will. I'll still need 2 more Engies. Okay. So he can do this. And is it time to switch to Tarsiers or keep up the pressure with Grimbotches? Let's say he goes Grimbotches. He can throw in a Conduit now and start trying to threaten Sinestra. I mean, I'm building the Energy Matrix, obviously. He's attacking for 6, which is losing 2 Engies. You know what? Maybe I shouldn't have built the Engineers last turn. Yeah, I should. And now what else do I do? Drone Animus to start finally building attackers, maybe? I don't know. At this point, we're like exploring a game tree. It's going to take a while to resolve whether this is enough threat that I'm actually having trouble with it. But I think that I'm not, right? Like, his Grimbotches are about to start dying, and he's only really attacking with 8 of them. I'm absorbing 4. That's 4 damage. I can comfortably build Wall NG every turn and be okay with that, right? So what that tells me is that I don't think the rush strategy would work, but I think if he's going to do it, he should actually do it and build 2 Grimbotches. I think building 1 Grimbotch... I hate that I can't, like, leave analysis mode but return to the main line of the replay. That's what I would like to do when I'm watching these replays. Is have a way to say, go back to what really happened in from analysis mode. But okay, so building 1 Grimbotch I don't think threatens enough my big economy play. And he, like, builds a bunch of tech. I don't know exactly how he's going to use all of this tech. I guess Arms Race, right? Arms Race Tarsier or something? Fine, that's what he does. But I don't think Arms Race fits with his rush plan. He's trying to stop me from building up a big economy by going with this Animus early. And Arms Race is very efficient. It's right? It's like you normally building all of these attackers would cost you 16, but it only costs you 8. The downside is that your opponent gets 4 engineers. How much does that cost? It costs 8. So, like, it's about as efficient as just building all the attackers by hand. In fact, I'm not really sure why this seems so efficient to me. Like, I guess... Do the engineers... Yeah, the engineers are there next turn. I don't know, like, Arms Race seems really strong to me, just like my feeling, but analyzing it, I don't understand why it is strong, whether it's strong even. Because it seems like it's just no more efficient than building the 3 base set guys, which you could do for these resources. And I guess the advantage is that, yes, okay, your opponent could buy 4 engineers for $8. And so in a way, you're giving them those 8 engineers in exchange for $8 for yourself. But your opponent doesn't really want to spend $8 on 4 engineers, right? By buying this as a package, you get the immediate efficiency of doing something good with your $8. You can think of this as, like, build all these units, and then give both you and your opponent $8, but they have to spend theirs on engineers, and you can spend yours on something good. So you can use this to threaten more, attack more quickly, I guess, in a way, while your opponent, sure, they get the engineers, but they don't really want them that badly. So maybe it's fine. But at any rate, it seems like it doesn't fit with the rush plan, because it gives me more time to construct my defenses and eventually pivot into attackers. And he carries on with it. I think this is still wrong, but I don't know, what's he supposed to do? He feels pretty far behind. I think we talked about it already, but I think attacking with the Grimbotch was a big mistake here. He has 7 attack. It's actually a mistake for a lot of reasons. One is, normally you want to hold back the Grimbotch on the turn when it's about to die. So that, like, it's about to die anyway. By holding it back, you save yourself 2 health, but give your opponent only 1 health, which is what you would deal if you could attack with it. I think he realized here, like, my Drake is only attacking for 2, which is getting soaked on the wall, and so the Grimbotch would be dying for nothing if he held it back. That's true, right? If he did hold the Grimbotch back, I would attack for 2, and, like, the Grimbotch would be accomplishing nothing. But attacking with the Grimbotch is also bad, because then I can click the Drake and deal the 4 damage, killing his engineers. I think he's just in a really bad position where he built this Grimbotch, and it's dying off too soon, right? That's the problem with Rush and a Grimbotch against high econ, is it takes your opponent forever to build any attackers. So the Grimbotch isn't really getting health value. Which is like, Grimbotch, you can treat it as like a better Rhino, right? If you don't need it for defense. It attacks 3 or 4 times, I think 3, and then defends. Whereas a Rhino attacks twice and then defends. But if it dies at a time when your opponent can like exploit it, it's pretty bad. It's a lot worse than a Tarsier. He'd be in a better spot if he built a Tarsier here instead of the Grimbotch. He got to kill 1 engineer with the Grimbotch, and now he's killing a second. But in exchange, he doesn't get a Tarsier for the rest of the game. Having a Tarsier would have been better for him. And I think he was just in a rough spot here. Whether he clicks the Grimbotch or not, it's a mistake. The Drake sort of exploits it perfectly. Which I didn't really plan, but it works out pretty well. And he's continuing to build more Tarsiers, which is fine. But at that point, he's basically playing base set only against Energy Matrix plus Drake, which is obviously going to lose. And anyway, so I did what I think is clearly the right thing. Bought another Drake, bought some Tarsiers, and importantly, I clicked my Drake so that he's going to wish he had left his Grimbotch back. But he has to decide whether to click the Grimbotch before I decide whether to click the Drake, and whichever one he does, I can punish him. I think the punish is worse this way, but, you know, maybe he thought I wouldn't spot it, maybe he didn't spot it. And he continues with the arms rushes, giving me all the time in the world. And I continue miscounting Sinestras, but at least I got to build 1. I would have loved to sneak in another Conduit, but I couldn't because he kept giving me chances to click my Blast Forges, and I needed to rebuild them. Here he made, here he's really being punished for leaving back, for not defending with the Grimbotch. I got to kill his 2 engineers, and now he has no way to absorb if I attack for a multiple of 3. I think he should, like, leave back a drone and force field another drone or something. But to do that, he has to not build a Steel Forge, or not build the Arms Race, or sorry, Blast Forge, or not build the Arms Race or something, which puts him further behind. But this is even worse, right? He loses a whole Steel Splitter because he didn't hold back 1 drone. Now, I had to spend a Blast Forge to make that happen, but that's fine. We're really getting to use Drake's click ability more effectively than usual in this, which is, remember, is what I predicted. I said if he's going to go heavy red, Drake is a fantastic counter to that, because they hate getting breached, and they don't have good absorb. And as I discussed in the game here, leaving back these 2 drones was a mistake. Maybe leave back 1 drone, but definitely not 2. I can only click 1 of my Drakes, so I'm really only threatening 11 attack, not 13. So I don't know. Maybe I could have like cut a Tarsier and a drone, or cut both Tarsiers actually. If I cut both of these Tarsiers from last, or no, these Tarsiers are still pending. I see. That's fine. I timed them to come in at the same time as the Sinestra. Oops, get out of there. Yeah, okay. I'd like to have more conduits this game, and I'm not sure how to get them, because I really want to build Sinestras all the time. But I couldn't quite make it happen. I think the 2 Perforators are pretty cool. Good way to use my red. Threatens some attack, but really it's not a threat. I don't plan to attack with them almost ever. But he has to defend as though I will. Right, this time I really am threatening 15, and he has to prevent the breach, as I said during the game. God, every time I leave my mouse pointing at something, or like I leave my mouse here, and then the units move because of defense or something. And now I can build the Sinestra. Here's my chance to build, I think, a 3rd Conduit. But the problem is I can't. I have to build... Well, I want to build the Energy Matrix, which means I can't build the Conduit. I think I could have timed this a lot better. But I'm not sure exactly how. And here I was sort of undecided about whether to block with the Perforator. And then I realized he had left me a breach opportunity, and I want every attacker. Fine. And now the game's like basically over. Yeah, he resigns. Right. So that was a cool one. High Econ versus a Rush. Just sort of shows some options, shows play and counterplay. And we got also this game in, which I had sort of forgotten about, where I just got absolutely slaughtered by going too fast for Shadowfangs, basically. We didn't analyze this, but I don't think there's much need to. It just shows that you need more economy than that to support Shadowfangs, and you can't... It's really hard for a red rush strategy to fit in a second Animus against another red rush. It's fine if your opponent is going blue, probably. Maybe. Because they're not putting as much pressure on you. But against, like, early heavy red, spending 6... So the thing, red mirrors, every dollar matters. Because you're just constantly on the knife's edge of being breached, both of you. And by spending $6 picking up this Animus, when my opponent's already threatening a bunch of attack with Tarsiers, I opened myself up to just... those $6, I badly needed them for other things. Anyway, that's it for this episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.